Hi class, in this video I will demonstrate how to import data to SPSS and how to compute, how to recode and do the basis in SPSS, and also how to conduct a descriptive analysis. So let me introduce my data first. This data contains several variables, including ID, name, birthday, gender, college income, attitude towards college, and attitude towards school. It has 10 cases, and also I do have a second sheet explaining my variables here. What I would like to do is that I will close my spreadsheet file first and open my SPSS. So when I have my SPSS open, by default it opens a blank dataset. So what I can do is that I can type directly using my keyboard the numbers, the values, the variable names into SPSS, and also I can do a time saving option, that is import. So what I would do is to import my data using the import menu and choose my file here. Well, on the pop-up window, I will indicate the worksheet I would like to import from, and make sure that I have the first checkbox checked. It says I would like to read my variable names from the first row of my data. Well, it is true because I do have my first row used as headers. And now I would like to click on OK. So now I have 10 cases imported, and if I switch to the variable view, I do have 13 variables imported into SPSS. And let me open my spreadsheet again. In this case, I would like to edit my variable in SPSS because currently there's no explanation of what those values are. For example, if I say the case 1, the gender of case 1 is 2. SPSS does not know what does the number 2 mean in this case. So what I would like to do is that I will assign values to the variable gender. The way to do it is that I can do it manually, assign a label to the value 1. And I will refer back to my Excel sheet to see 1 represents male, and I will go back and type male using my keyboard. And again, 2 represents female, so I will add another category here and click on OK. Now Excel knows that I do have labels for these 2 numbers here, and also for the colleges and for other measures too. For those attitude measures, we usually use Likert scales. For example, 5 indicates agree and 1 indicates disagree. So there are a total of 6 such variables, and it would be quite time consuming for me to manually type those labels and values here. So what I can do is that instead of typing manually, I would like to do a syntax. I do have an example here. So a syntax would be a command that SPSS recognize and can run, just like what I did with my mouse. In this case, let me explain what these variable labels mean. It simply means that I would like to assign labels to my variables. For example, I would like to assign participant ID as the labels to the variable ID. And also, I would like to assign attitude towards college 1 as the label for attitude college 1. And the way to run this command is to select this command and click on the green triangle button here, run selection. So the output window gives me the results that this command has been executed. So I am going back to the data view and switch to the variable view to see whether I have now labels assigned. It seems like I forgot to add numbers to attitude towards school. I can go back to my syntax, add my numbers, and simply run this command again. If I go back to my data set, now I should have a updated view of all the labels. The next command demonstrate how to assign labels to those values. What I just did was to assign label male to the value 1 in the variable gender. And also what I did was to assign the label female to the value 2 of the variable gender. So I can do labels manually, of course, but what I would like to do is I would assign the label strongly disagree to all of these attitude measures here. And let me select the command and run. If I go back to the data set, it actually has updated all the labels for me just within a click. And the next thing I would like to do is that if I go back to the spreadsheet, I can read that some of the items, they are not measuring positive attitude towards college. Instead, they are measuring the negative attitude towards college. So in order to give a good analysis, I would like to first reverse coding my negative attitude items. There are 2 of the items that are reverse coded. What I would like to do is that I would like to create a new variable that is using a opposite numbers. Instead of using 1 as strongly disagree, I would use 1 as strongly agree. And to change the reverse coded items into the positive attitude, what I can do is that I can recode the variables into a different variable. For example, here I can select which one I would like to recode. Well, I will have to enlarge my window in order to see which one will be selected, and this is the second one. And on the right panel, I would like to indicate what is the name of my new variable. So I will just say reverse coded one, say R represents the reverse. So I say reverse attitude towards college 2. And I can do say reverse coded, or I don't have to create a label yet. I can change them later. I will have to click on the change button so that the middle panel can have both the original and the new output variables. Also, I would like to indicate how I would like those values to be recoded. Okay, on the left of the panel, I would like to indicate the old value. Remember that I would like to recode my negative attitude into positive. So I would do 1. If I go back, I can see 1 represents strongly disagree. Now I would like 1 to be, instead of strongly disagree, I would like it to be strongly agree. So 2 represents disagree. Now I would want it to be agree. So 2 would be 4. And 3 would be the neutral. Neutral one, I don't want it to be changed. So 3 would be 3 again. And don't forget to change the rest of it. 5 to 1. And click on continue. So now instead of doing OK, I can do paste. So that when I do the paste, the command will be pasted to the syntax window. So if I open the syntax, this is the recode command that I just almost asked SPSS to run. And I do have the same command here. A few lines up, it basically said the same thing. What I did was that I can quickly copy and paste some of those names here, because the first one would be attitude towards college, and the second, instead of say college, I would just copy and paste school to the second command so that it can be recoded too. If I am going to run this 2 command at the same time, I will just to select both command and ask SPSS to run. Now I should have created two new variables, reverse coded ones, and with labels, and new values that have not yet created a label. Say I can go back and double check here. For example, attitude towards college 2, the raw data was 1 and the new data now is 5. The next step is that what if I would like to compute a representative data, a representative variable for attitude towards college? Then I would like to have a mean data that summarizes the three of them. And remember, since the second one is a reverse coded item, I would like to summarize the first item, the reverse coded item, and also the third item here. Now what I would like to do is I would like to compute a new variable, and the name of the new variable would be mean value. I can say mean attitude towards college. And the expression of this would be, since I am going to do a mean, I can use the panel to scroll down until I see statistical and to choose mean from the functions. Now I am going to use my mouse to select the first one, and the second one. Remember, the second one should be reverse coded ones. So it is this one, attitude towards college reverse coded. Use these arrows to add or delete. And I do have a third variables. I'll use this arrow to add. Now when everything looks okay, instead of doing OK to ask SPSS to run this command, right away I can do paste. And back to the syntax window. The reason I would like to save a syntax is because I do have a second set of attitudes that I would like to do mean values. That's attitude towards school. So it's easier for me to change it here in case I have several variables. And also keeping a syntax would be easier for me if next time I have a similar set of data, or next time I have an updated set of data. I can copy the data down and change college to school. And then select both command and ask SPSS to run both. Now if I go back to the data set, I should have mean values of both computed here. I can always go back to the data view, scroll to the far right, and see whether the means have been computed. The very last step I would like to analyze Well, those are more likely continuous variables. So what I would like to do is to do a descriptive analysis to those continuous variables. There are 3 of them: annual income, mean value of college, mean value of attitudes towards school. And also I can ask for mean, median, and mode, since they are regarded as continuous variables. I can ask for standard deviation, ask for variance, ask for range, skewness, and kurtosis. And also I can ask for histograms to see whether it fits a normal curve, and also don't forget to check SPSS style. So again, instead of doing OK right away, I can do paste and run the command. Now SPSS showed me, well, the central tendencies, the variability, the skewness, kurtosis of these 3 variables. And also, for each of these 3 variables, I do have a frequency table, a histogram, and also whether those distributions fit a normal curve. I can come back and ask for a frequency again, but this time not to these 3 continuous variables, but to categorical variables. For example, gender and college. Well, this time I don't need mean and median, since they are nominal or categorical data. And this time I don't need variance or standard deviation. There will be no meaning for me to do that. So I would like to uncheck all those buttons, and instead of having a histogram, now I want a bar charts. And I did paste again and run. Now for these 2 categorical variables, I do have a frequency table and some basic description of them. For example, for the frequency table, I know that there are 5 male and 5 females in this data set. So what I see here is that I have 92 missing data, and I didn't notice because they look like they were blank ones, but actually they're missing cases. What I would like to do is that I will select all those missing cases and do delete using my keyboard. If I go back and run these 2 frequencies again, the output table should give me 0 missing tables. Now I have 5 males and 5 females. It looks like a very good distribution.